I'm Tamara, standing here at Fontana Lake, watching the reunion between my partner, Leo, and his long-lost daughter, Ava. I'm overwhelmed with a mix of emotions. The sun is setting, casting a warm, golden glow over the water, and the air is filled with the sweet scent of pine. It's a moment I've been waiting for, yet it's also a moment I've been dreading. A few weeks ago, Leo left for a short consulting job in Miami. He was excited about the project, and I was happy for him. But when he left, I found a black leather notebook in the car. Curiosity got the better of me, and I opened it. Inside, I discovered a story that would change our lives forever. Leo had a past that he had never fully shared with me. There was a woman named Lily, who had passed away years ago, and a daughter, Ava, who he didn't even know existed. Lily had written a letter explaining that Ava was his, but she had kept the secret to protect his newfound peace. I was torn. I knew I should tell Leo, but I was afraid of what it might do to him. He had worked so hard to move on from his past, and I didn't want to shatter his world. But at the same time, I couldn't ignore the truth. I decided to take matters into my own hands and find Ava. With the help of my son, Ethan, and his girlfriend, Mia, a data analyst, we started the search. It wasn't easy. There were many dead ends, and Ava had made her life private. But we didn't give up. We used every resource we had, and finally we found her. Ava was a photographer in Seattle. She had a husband, Ryan, and a young son, Noah. When I reached out to her, she was skeptical at first. She didn't believe me, and she was understandably hesitant. But I was determined to prove to her that I was telling the truth. I sent her a photo of Lily's letter, and after some time, she agreed to do a DNA test. The waiting was torture. Every day felt like an eternity. But finally, the results came back. The probability of paternity was 99.9%. Ava was Leo's daughter. I was overjoyed, but I also knew that I had to find the right way to tell Leo. I didn't want to just blurt it out and risk hurting him. I thought about it for a long time, and then I remembered the day we met at Fontana Lake. It was a magical day, and I knew that it would be the perfect place for this reunion. I planned a trip to the lake, telling Leo it was just a romantic getaway. He was excited, and he had no idea what was waiting for him. As we drove to the lake, I could feel the tension building inside me. I wanted to tell him, but I couldn't find the right words. When we arrived at the cabin, I could see the anticipation in his eyes. He loved this place, and he was looking forward to a few days of relaxation. But little did he know that his life was about to change forever. The next morning, we went to the south overlook by the water. It was a quiet, peaceful spot, and the view was breathtaking. As we walked towards the overlook, I saw a car parked by the trailhead. I knew it was Ava. Leo froze when he saw the car. His eyes widened, and his hands started to shake. "Is that?" he asked, his voice cracking. I nodded, and I could see the tears welling up in his eyes. Down by the shoreline, Ava stood with her husband and son. She was beautiful, with long, light brown hair and a warm smile. When she saw Leo, her eyes filled with tears. "Dad," she whispered, and the word hung in the air like a prayer. Leo took a step forward, then another. His hands were trembling so badly that the flowers he was holding fell to the ground. "Ava," he said, his voice raw and shaking. Ava ran towards him, and they embraced. It was a moment of pure, unbridled emotion. Leo held her tightly, as if he was afraid she would disappear. And Ava clung to him, her tears soaking into his shirt. I stood a few steps behind, watching through tears of my own. This was their moment, and I didn't want to intrude. I could see the pain and the joy in Leo's eyes, and I knew that this was the beginning of a new chapter in his life. As they pulled apart, Leo looked at Ava and said, "You look like her, like Lily." Ava smiled through her tears and said, "Mom always said I had her hair, but someone else's eyes. I never understood until now." Then Noah, Ava's son, approached Leo. He looked up at him with wide, curious eyes and said, "Grandpa." Leo's face crumpled, and he crouched down to the child's level. "That's right," he said, his voice trembling. "Can I have a hug?" Noah threw his arms around Leo's neck, and Leo held him close. In that moment, I could see the healing taking place. The past was finally being laid to rest, and a new future was beginning. I stepped forward then, and Ava turned towards me. Our eyes met, and we shared a look filled with gratitude and recognition. She knew that I had played a part in bringing them together, and I knew that she was grateful. As the sun sank below the horizon, the water reflected the glow of the 3 generations standing together. It was a beautiful sight, and I felt a sense of peace wash over me. I knew that this was the right thing to do, and I was glad that I had the courage to follow my heart. Looking back on that day, I realized that sometimes the truest revenge against time is forgiveness. Leo had carried the weight of his past for so long, and now he was finally free. And Ava, who had grown up without knowing her father, had found the missing piece of her life. Our lives have changed forever, but in the best possible way. We've built a new family, one based on love, understanding, and forgiveness. And as I look out at the lake, I know that this is just the beginning. There will be many more memories to make and many more stories to tell.